Welcome back to Voice in the Void, everybody. Got your host, Brandon, as always. Then I have a special guest today, Xenia Razinski. um, it's nice having you. Obviously, we tried this earlier. It didn't work, but everything's working good. Um, so please, you can tell us your story, introduce yourself however you want to do that, and yeah, tell us about you.
Right. Thanks, Brennan. It's great to be here, and thanks for having me. It's an honor and pleasure. I'm Xenia. I am permanently based right now in Virginia, though spend a lot of times going back and forth between New York, where I used to live. And I basically my story starts with my family immigrating here in 1992 to the United States from Russia. I was then in third grade. So I started school here in Virginia. And meanwhile, my parents started their family business of bringing international investments, later grew into infrastructure, energy development, a really big multi-million dollar projects with major companies all over the world. And I grew up in the family business. I went to business school, first at Boston University, later got my MBA at Columbia Business School and London Business School, was a joint executive MBA program. And yeah, pretty much grew up in my family business. We got to a status of really wealthy. I would say comfortably wealthy. We weren't the ultra 1%, but we were in that ballpark. And got to experience really kind of the luxury lifestyle and all that comes with it. And that world is also full of a lot of evil, a lot of ill intentions.
Yeah,
And that's my family has always been of light. We've been um, relatively religious, quite spiritual. My more on my dad's side that actually is part of my story is that I had a spiritual awakening that began in my kind of preteen years. I began with a school science project of learning about dream interpretation from Edgar Casey, and that opened up the whole astral world, kind of the soul world to me. But I kind of shelved that because I was too busy becoming a big successful businesswoman. And when we got to around 2000s and we started working on really the mega big projects that were really bringing the millions to us,
mhm,
we encountered those that were really had ill intentions and really using us to commit fraud and do some really things that were definitely not in our plans or in our works or intentions. We always wanted to do projects like power plants and bring energy to emerging markets, to developing countries that really needed it the most. You
mhm.
know, bringing good things to people. And we had what's in the business world is called hostile takeover, where people say, "Okay, I like what you have. I'm going to take it. I'm going to pretend I'm going to give you funding and support and become your partner, and then I'm going to screw you so that you're left with nothing, and I take it all for nothing."
Mhm.
And so we experienced that twice. Once on the power plant project, and once when this big company that was working on taking away our biggest project, biggest asset, the one that really kind of made us to that level. We had another investor who came in and said, "Oh, you're having issues. I can help. This is up my alley. I work and invest in distressed assets." My parents at that time were living in a really big house, and that we had financed based on where we were. They said,
Mhm.
"Oh, I do real estate investments, so I'm going to support you." And in a few years, we basically ended up losing 20 years of wealth, all of the millions. Everything went down the drain, and losing the title to our home. And later realized that everything that had worked for us before in the business front did not was not working because somebody was messing behind the scenes, making sure that we nothing that we touched would succeed.
Hmm.
So I mentioned, like I went to business school. I was taught how not to lose money, how not to be in a situation that we ended up finding ourselves.
Who
How
to and who
to
not to trust.
that they didn't actually teach. Actually, well, they actually that was kind of looking in hindsight. What I learned is that they do teach you the playbook
Yeah.
that a lot of the people that are with big money because they want to they earn it basically because they don't have their own ideas, so they earn it by
Mm.
screwing other people, and
The
they know how to
American
do it
way.
from business school.
The American way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I basically what that took is the last 10 years my family has been very bravely I would say battling this. We've also learned over the justice system, a lot of the attorneys that because we have all the evidence, we know the truth, and unfortunately, with the legal system, that doesn't always count. If there's a certain way it has to be presented, there's a certain um, expectations that the judges have, and the attorneys basically know how to get what they're after, what they want, and it's not always in the client's interest. So our adversary worked with every one of our attorneys. Our attorneys were refusing to use the evidence we had, saying, "Oh, it's not good. We don't want to piss off the judge. We don't want to screw this up. This is not necessary," and all of these excuses just kind of kept us not winning or delaying and draining our accounts on legal fees rather than really getting us anywhere. So, um, in the meantime, after my MBA, I had a lot of classmates that were in my program that were leaving the corporate world and wanted to do startups and entrepreneurship. And knowing that I was a business owner coming from my family business, I noticed they were asking a lot of the similar questions as how do you start a business? How do you finance it? How do you write a business plan? Well, that we learn in school, but really the entrepreneurship side was kind of scaring them because they're used to having a structure of the corporate world.
Yeah.
And so I realized I can help consult that and helped out a few friends. And then I thought, hey, I should start charging for this. So I created my company, IPCH International, basically initially just to work with startups and people that wanted to run a business but didn't know how or needed some help optimizing their strategy, business plans, market research. That's always been on the side for me because the focus has always been my family, the family business, as well as everything that we were going through. And when COVID hit, I had a few clients that really needed emergency help because of the shutdown, the unexpected income blockage, all the disruptions that businesses, especially small businesses, experienced during those lockdown periods.
Mhm.
And I realized that I am actually quite equipped for this time because my family's already been going through the disruptions that we didn't get taught in business school how to do.
Right.
And I started to kind of at this point I actually had a kind of a spiritual reawakening in that I meditate and pray. And so when I went into kind of a deep meditation state, and I asked basically, what can I do to support my family? What can I do to kind of get us in this through this period? And I have kind of, if people believe in this, angel guidance, whatever, like this kind of inner spiritual voice that came through and said, remove the blockages you put up into your spiritual awakening. You need to open up to your higher self, to the higher powers, and you need to start seeing things from a higher awareness beyond what is happening in our world. And the second part of the message I didn't understand at that point. This was in 2017. The second part of that message was it's not just for your family. You're going to need this for what's happening in the world. And that part, I was just, at that point, I was like, yeah, yeah. I usually don't question when I get these messages, but I
Mhm.
just kind of thought, okay, let me focus on my family first. But I started going deeper into meditation, and I always considered this to be my hobby, kind of my separate aspect. But as COVID showed and more recent years showed, then I've been speaking more to people who are both part of that kind of quantum or spiritual awakening field, as well
Yeah.
as people who are, I'm calling my MBA classmates now, and a few of them are having very similar, different type, but very similar issues that MBA or business schools didn't prepare us for. And so I realized, well, I've had it all backwards. I've
Mhm.
always thought, business life, our day to day stuff was one thing, and then the spiritual stuff is kind of like the hobby, but it's actually the foundation, the basis on which we create what we want, create our desire, make our business successful or not. And most importantly, when we experience spiritual attacks, which is basically what my family has experienced,
Mhm.
it's the only way to protect ourselves and not just survive, but really thrive, like overcome that and navigate these challenges. And what we're seeing in the world today, from current events, politics to day to day being able to make it, that's really kind of the way forward. And so that's why I kind of repivoted my consulting strategy. And also, I haven't marketed myself at all. So I'm really making it more of my focus now, my work. And this is what my guide in 2017 meant, that it's not just for my family, it's really for the whole world,
Mhm.
um, to awaken and to learn how to navigate what we're going through. So
To
that's a
help.
long introduction.
No, that's cool. It gave the details that's really needed. So the introduction, it tells us about you, tells us what you're dealing with or what you have dealt with, what you're doing in progression now, which you've got your consultant business going on. Um, which I actually looked that I went to the link on your page, um, which is it leads to this.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there is looking for any assistance or getting other ways to get the business going, whatever it might be, this is a good way to go to. What's the like if you find Xenia, you can find it.
Yeah, it's the website is ipchinternational.com.
There you
International,
go.
because I work with global clients. I have friends and clients all over the place. I've actually stopped calling them clients. I call them conscious partners, because I take every person who I reach out to or who reaches out to me as really a partner that I'm supporting, rather
Mhm.
than a client that I am advising. Like, I
Like
really
building a
see this.
friendship,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
partnership.
It's a friendship, and also I'm not. I don't like to see myself as being like I'm the consultant. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to fix all your problems. That's
Yeah,
not my approach at all. My approach is, what are you after? What are you looking for? And let me see how I can help you get there.
right. Well, hey, I mean, obviously it has worked at least a little bit for you. So, like,
Yeah.
at least a little bit. Because I mean,
It's
you,
creating every day. It's a learning in the progress. I'm learning as well. I think we all are here,
yep,
kind
it's
of
all about
to
the
learn.
growth.
Exactly.
It's all about the growth. It's all about, as you said, the helping. Because that's truly what it is. It's helping other people get by and hopefully to avoid some of the same things that you and your family has experienced. Which, well, who knows if I can get the stuff worked up for the business I'm working on, I might reach out to you for that part too. So,
I'd be happy
um,
happy to chat with you. Yeah.
um, which mine gonna be different than majority. Mine's just I'm working on a property maintenance business, so it's a little bit different than all
Yeah.
the stuff you probably used to.
I've
Um,
I've done real estate. I actually started in commercial real estate, because after my Boston University undergrad business education, my parents said, "Oh, what do you want to do? Do you want, you can always come back to the family business, or." I never really left it. Once I started it, I was old enough to work. I was working administratively, and even in college, my parents were giving me assignments and things. But I said, I want to experience the corporate world. I want to get out there. So I actually worked at Cushman and Wakefield in commercial real estate development and project management, which actually helped a lot on our energy development projects later.
Okay.
But yeah, so I did that. But you bring up a great point because when you go by the traditional structure, if you're running a business or if you are presenting yourself in any kind of job search, you have to basically kind of spell out or focus on something. Like, this is the area that I am focusing on. This is what I specialize in.
Yeah.
And I've always seen myself, I have such a vast experience from global investments to business strategies to finance, just on the business side. And then, my martial arts experience, I mentioned I'm also a martial artist,
Hmm.
fourth degree black belt in Taekwondo, and studied kung fu and other arts as well. I practice Tai Chi regularly. So I have such a vast experience that it's been very, that's one of the challenges I face in my consulting work is like, okay, I really do specialize in a lot of things. Like, there's no one
Hey,
area, which I know the
hey,
Achilles
in a sense, that makes you a dangerous person.
probably. Yeah, but I don't have if you go on my website, I actually do have now the service packages, and I offer different kind of even flexibility in terms of fee structures and partnership ways, because some people need, just a one thing, like, hey, I am working on this deal, or like, I'm working on this like real estate thing, can you help me look at this? And it's a one-off assignment that's easy to do. We figure out how to exchange the energy. Financial aspect is also kind of an energy exchange, uh, and that's it. And then there's others that really need somebody to hold their hand through an ongoing basis as things come up. That's a different structure. So I'm open. I don't like to limit myself into any kind of narrow perspective or tunnel, saying like, this is all I do. I just kind of see whatever comes to me, and if there's synergies, if there's something that I know that I can bring value to, I'll take it.
I mean, it sounds like you're very open-minded. You went from an MBA to a couple different martial arts, um, to consulting people, to like you're a little bit all over the place, which is good because that means you're more open to different, I guess, different thoughts and different periods. But you're also open enough to understand when someone's doing right, when someone's potentially gonna do wrong. Because again, you've learned that growing up. You've watched your parents, your family go through all this craziness, and it seems like you've built something pretty good to help people hopefully not go through that themselves. Because I understand litigation can go on forever. Like,
Yeah.
if you say you can start it tomorrow and it could potentially go for another 12 years. So,
We're over that now with our target. Yeah.
exactly the point. Like, it
Yeah.
never ends. Like, you can be stuck in it forever. And which is, it's terrible. Like, it shouldn't be that way by any means. Like, at some point, if it reaches personally, if it reaches a 2-year mark, like, someone should be like, all right, maybe, the people that are actually being sued are
Hmm.
in the right if this is still dragging out farther than what it should have.
Yeah.
Like 2 years, that even that's a long time for court process. But unfortunately, money talks, and frankly, if you got a lot of it, you can drag anything and everything out.
Yeah.
Like me, if I got sued tomorrow, hopefully it'd be done tomorrow because I ain't got money for the rest. um, but no, I mean, I'd probably reach out about the consulting thing because that seems like something that could potentially help with my side of it as well. So, um, yeah. Uh, I did have a couple little questions I wanted to ask you though,
Sure.
which it's not gonna all be about um the business because it's about somewhat fun of it as well. Um, so first off, If you could explain your childhood with just one word,
Hmm.
what would it be?
One word.
One
Uh,
word.
it's curiosity.
Fair enough.
So I would
Now,
say I've always been very curious about a lot of different things, which is why I'm also I've seen and dove into many different aspects that
yeah,
we've already mentioned. That I love learning about new things. When there's something different or even something that's adverse or seems like it's something that I do not agree with,
yeah.
I will firstly try to understand the perspective of the other side as well. So I've always been very curious, and that began in my childhood. So
Yeah, that's a good word. Like, I haven't thought about using that one for myself yet. Just even though I am curious, again, that's part of where this comes in. I'm interested in other people's stories and experiences, stuff like that. So the curiosity thing, it definitely works.
yeah,
Um, Now you said you've been curious since a child, and is it only because of the business side of it, or just in general? Like,
I think in general, there have been different things that spark my interest.
mhm,
That if something catches my attention,
yeah,
I would want to know everything about it. If I usually don't like to take on anything or do anything unless I know everything about it. Like if I'm in a new country, like I travel a lot in my life as well, but if I am going somewhere or traveling somewhere, I need to know exactly how to get there. I need to figure everything out and try to learn the language if I'm in a foreign country. So basically, I try to really immerse myself into everything that I could possibly learn, even if it's a temporary thing, even if it's something new. But I'm always I love learning and exploring, and I actually have a friend who is basing her work on curiosity, and she feels like there's not enough of that, particularly in today's education system, and particularly among children. Children
uh
are naturally very curious about everything,
yep,
and there's been a lot of limitation on that. There's a lot put in that saying, they're being taught what to think and how to act and what to say and what's appropriate or what's not appropriate. Obviously, you have to discipline your children, but really, kind of, the more you let them explore and
mhm,
tap into their curiosity, the better really they grow up. As my experience has been, just learning a little bit about everything and finding how to use that to your advantage or what you want to do that. So yeah, it really took a lot from my college friend who's taken that on, and I realized, yeah, this is how we grew up. This is how our families were. We're grateful that we had families that allowed that, and unfortunately, we don't have that enough of that in today's world.
yeah. No, that's a very fair, I guess, assessment on it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
your friend's kind of in the same aspect as you in a lot of it.
Yeah, she's actually my best friend from college, from Boston University.
Okay.
She did actually a TEDx talk. She's you can go to livecurious.com. I know she's still working, but this has been her kind of like the way I've been guided to really develop IPCH. She's been wanting to. She works in education policy. That's her experience, and she's basically had a hands-on view of how uh, you know, education is not helping children explore their curiosity.
Okay. All right.
It's her name's Mary Kingston, or
Yeah.
Mary Roche. Sorry, Mary Kingston Roche. She's married.
Okay. Are you, by any chance, are you married?
No, I'm single. I've had a lot of relationships in my early years, and this is actually has been part of my development. In that I learned that I always needed somebody to be. by my side to, I wouldn't say depend on, but really somebody that I was giving a lot of energy to and supporting and, yeah, expecting, I guess, support in return. And by the time I got to my 30s, I was in back to back relationships since teenage years, you would say. And by the time I got to my 30s, I realized that I really haven't really gotten to know myself as an adult yet because I've always had somebody else to take care of.
So right now
And
you're working on you.
yeah, so like the last decade, I've basically been working on me and knowing that that I had to. You have to learn. And that's another thing that I've learned about love as well, and whether it's your work, the love for work, love for your family, or romantic love, you have to learn to love yourself first. And
Yeah.
if you love yourself, then you attract the love around you, and you attract the kind of people that want to support you rather than drain your energy. So
I
yeah.
look at how you said love for work.
Hmm.
I look at that as a lust because it's something you want more than anything, but it's in the end, you can always let it go. So it's lust. But fly. Um, if the love, you definitely have to work on yourself. You have to make sure not only are you looking to share the love that you've built for yourself, but you have to be open to accept the love from someone else. And it took me a long time to get that understanding for myself. For my wife, it took me quite a while to get that understanding. Because I used to be, as people would say, a high strung individual. My mental game was all over the place. Um, I still do, in a sense, say almost anything I want. I just learned lately there's certain things to not say. I try to be as respectful as I can be, unless you, so to speak, you irritate me enough, then you're getting what I really gonna put out to you. It's just how it works. But love is definitely something you have to build.
Yeah,
But when it happens, you'll know.
exactly. Yeah, and
Um,
it becomes more natural, and it's uh, something. I guess the biggest re- thing that I learned also through my experience and what I'm intertwining into my work now and helping others is uh, there's a lot of people that want to help others and are reaching out and whether it's advising, spiritual advising, or some kind of or taking care of family or people who do volunteer work. Um, I do see kind of everything we do is energy. It's like whatever we give out, we receive in return, whether we like it or not. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But when
mhm,
we focus on too much on the outside and the outside circumstances and the out, doing what we can or helping others, or that's why I said I don't like I call my clients conscious partners, not clients, because if it's clients, it's me telling them what to do or me trying to change them. And
yeah,
obviously, I'm sure like in relationships, you can't change the other person. Like that's the one of the number one relationship
yeah,
killers is you try to change them to who you expect them to be.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that can very much so ruin the relationship,
yeah.
or it can potentially ruin the person that you're trying to change.
Exactly. And then in business consulting, I've noticed the same thing. There are certain things that I'm not intending to change, or if I try, that doesn't work. So the what really works is that when we try to work on ourselves and to change ourselves, the perspective, I would say not even change ourselves, but change the way we look at things, to change the perspective on
Hmm.
how we receive things and how we perceive things, and really stay focused on what we give energy to, because it's the laws of physics that whatever goes out comes back. And if we focus on the love, let's put it that aspect, I would say love. And I think gratitude is any other really important aspect piece to see everything, whether it's a challenge, whether it's something that upsets you, triggers you, or or helps you,
Hmm.
seeing everything as this is something for me to grow from. This is something for me to learn from, and I'm grateful for that. Uh, then we give that out. Then we can help others see that, and then we receive exactly according to that. It goes in the biblical scriptures as well. That we receive whatever we give out, and this is really the important part. If we give too much of our energy and always trying to fix things and change things and forget to do that, it all starts within, then that's where we run into challenges. And until we fix ourselves, the world around us is not going to change. And
Right.
definitely learned that the hard way myself.
Oh, very true. Very true. And but it's the experience that helps build you to the way you want to be.
Exactly.
So, and it sounds like you're on the right track.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's it's interesting. It doesn't mean that challenges don't come up, and I've had my
Definitely.
share, and I'm still experiencing. My family's still experiencing things that are remnants from everything we've gone through in the last decade. But uh, every day, I don't focus on that. I can find a lot of negative things and to describe where I'm at, but I never do that because for me, I wake up in the morning, I see the sun, I'm grateful for the each day, I'm grateful for everything that I have,
Hmm.
and then I focus on, okay, where do I want to be? What do I want to change about my current reality? And
Right.
then, yeah, there are constraints, there are limitations that maybe I can't do everything that I would wish I could do right now, but I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on, okay, given the constraints, given my situation now, what can I do? I can
Right.
have an afternoon chat with Brandon Willie and maybe help others who are listening to this. And that's a
Yeah.
great thing.
It's sharing the word.
Yeah.
It's sharing whatever experiences, sharing the story, meeting new people from however far. You said you're in New Jersey.
Right now, yes. Yeah.
I'm in Texas.
Mhm. Yeah.
The as we discussed earlier, the lovely world of technology.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, let me see. So, if do you have a song that you listen to or could listen to that will more or less bring you back to your childhood, like to the good old days?
Childhood.
Well, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be childhood, but any time where you felt like it was it was a great time to be in.
Hmm.
Like any song.
I would say I'm a big 90s person. I actually loved growing up in 90s USA in
Okay.
Virginia. So
Okay.
so even though I had all kinds of childhoods experiences, I would say that's probably one. I love music, so there's could be an infinite number of songs that could cover that.
eh,
I'll mention two if you allow it. I would say one that really puts me in that happy place and brings back the memories of being in that, I would say is Another Night, and I'm not going to remember who sang it. It's one of the big party songs of the 90s.
what was it called?
Another Night. Uh,
Another Night. It
I know
looks like you.
it's on my Spotify list. I know like top 10, but it's one of those party anthem songs. So
Okay.
uh but I would love to mention also my I would say my one top, I would say number
Is
one
that
song.
Real McCoy?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just I love dancing. I love upbeat music, and that was my favorite dance song back then. So if anything that brings me back to that moment, it's definitely that tune. Uh,
Okay.
and then in terms of uh life and kind of also things that put me in a good mood or kind of motivates me is Dreams by Cranberries. That
Okay.
is my number one favorite song because I always have dreams. I had dreams as a child of doing something great,
Yeah.
and I have dreams every day of doing that. And the aspects of the songs that sometimes also remind me is that we don't have to dream alone. There's always something or someone that can support us in that, and not something that you need to depend on or rely on. But
Yeah.
it's always great to have that. And something I learned is to ask for help. I'm very independent. I used to kind of try to figure things out myself. That's another one of my characteristics, and also something that I'm helping others doing is there are times when it's okay to ask for help, and you should ask for help.
So
And
you're learning with teaching.
exactly, yep, always. I think every teacher
And
learns by
they
by
do
doing.
say
Yeah.
the greatest teachers learn every day.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think everything, every experience, every relationship, every one we encounter, there's always something teaching us. Our life here, and again, depends on people's views on what our life's purpose. What are we doing as humans here? Who are we as humans?
Mhm.
Spiritual souls and all that. We're here, kind of in the Earth School. We're
Yeah.
going through the experience of school, and
Oh yeah,
uh,
you're learning something new every day, no matter where you are.
yeah, and what I'm learning is just when I think I got okay, I'm getting pretty good at this. I figured things out. I know how to stay positive and how to manage things, and then life will throw you a curveball and make sure that being like, all right, let's see if you're ready. Let's take that pop quiz right now.
Right? Hey, no, that's a good way to be. That's not wrong at all.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Oh
always a learning
man.
process, no matter where you are, what level you are, how much you think you've experienced or learned. There's always something new.
Yeah. There's always something new to learn. And you might not like what you're learning, but you're still learning something different.
Exactly. Yeah.
um, yeah. Man, I can't even think of any of the songs really. I mean, there's Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Uh Wrecking Ball, but those were the songs I used to blast when I was showing up to parties.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'd be blasting it, they would hear it down the street and know who's showing up.
Right. What's the song that we can do whatever we want? Like that's my favorite Miley song. I could think of the title now of it.
Oh, the newer one?
Yeah, one of the
W
newer ones. Yeah.
yeah, where she's "Buy Myself Flowers."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my kids like to listen to that one sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, there's so much. There's "Follow Me" by Uncle Cracker, one of the
Yeah.
greatest
That's
songs
a great.
personally.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man.
And the
I
other one of my other top, I would say top 10, not as much as Dreams, but Landslide by Dix. I like the Dixie Chicks version, but Stevie
mm,
Nicks also sang it.
okay,
Uh, yeah, so and this is more about uh, yeah, just kind of life. I like songs that kind of help you navigate you through life. Actually, which reminds me, I w- the song that I should have said was the number
uh-huh,
one. It's one of the lesser known songs by Garth Brooks. It's called "The River,"
a great song.
and that in terms of words, I would say it's one of the no matter what you're going through, however whatever challenges, that is one of my favorite inspirational songs. Is "The River." It talks about the flow of life,
Yeah,
and it's probably defines me in terms of how I've always challenged it, taken on challenges and taken the road less traveled. And
yeah,
if you're telling me that something is going to be easy, I'll be like, okay, I'm not taking that route. I'm going to take something that I can learn from and experience,
yeah.
and even if that means a harder path and more. I wouldn't say struggle because everything is a challenge, but something that I want to figure out and learn from.
No, it's fair.
Yeah,
It really is. It's fair about it because if if you think about it, you have to go down the roads less traveled to
Mhm.
actually experience something new that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
And hence, me talking to you, I mean, not only learning, but confirming in a sense the harsh realities of others. Like the family aspect, going through the stuff they've been going through for a long time that it should have been ended a long time ago. It's ridiculous to hear about on a
Mhm.
personal side. Like that shouldn't be the case. Just leave the family alone that's trying to do something. They're making it better. Leave them be. But that's not only you guys either. Unfortunately, that's you got people that they do strictly food trucks and they're being hassled. They're doing pop-up tents trying to give food to the homeless. And you see videos where the the more or less the DHS is going out there with police and they're throwing the food all over. They're throwing it on the ground so they can't serve it no more. There's
Yeah.
no reason for all the extra hassle. So
Yeah, exactly.
it it's crazy. Um, so do you have if if you could base your life off of a movie,
Hmm.
what movie would that be?
Hmm. That's a tough one. 'Cause it depends, I guess, on what aspect of life too. So,
Well,
uh, hmm.
I mean, you you just gotta think about one that would almost do a comparison or maybe even
Mm.
a life that you would want to go to and experience yourself.
I'll throw something that you probably don't expect to hear.
Okay.
Because I'll mention my favorite comedy movie. Uh, I wouldn't compare my life to it, but there are a lot of aspects of it from it that I've taken, and that's Fool's Rush In. It's an old movie with Salma Hayek and Matthew Perry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, when they get married and they
Yeah,
just start to meet the family and yeah, they go through a whole
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
crazy.
It's interesting because it shows two different worlds: the
Mhm.
high, business and New York City life that Matthew Perry's character
Yeah.
experiences, and then the Salma Hayek character is more of the spiritual, the natural aspect. And I saw that movie on a plane, and I think it was, when you're on long haul flights, and I was traveling a lot already at that time that it came out. Um, I watched, the long haul flights. I'll just repeat the movie. I watched it like the entire flight 4 times in a row, I think. And
It's a good movie though.
yeah, but
It's a
the
good
reason
movie.
I bring that up is because I thought, okay, it's my favorite movie to date, even though it's like, what is it, 30, 40 years old. And the
Something like
experience,
that.
yeah, the reason is that my life has been like that. I've lived in, my family came from Moscow, Russia. I lived in New York City for many years. So I've lived that whole, like, the city life, the chaos and the busy, the energy, high energy of that. I also part of my childhood was growing up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is on the practically on the beach, in a very kind of relaxed lifestyle.
Mhm.
And as we're discussing today, and with my work now, I have the spiritual aspect of me that is very much focused on signs. Salma Hayek's character is very, like, kind of superstitious about those things. I wouldn't say I'm superstitious about, like, I can't do this until this happens, or I have to, like, say this. I'm not in that sense, but I am superstitious in that I do receive signs. I do recognize the signs when they're shown to me, when something kind of from the higher realms is presented as like, hey, this is something either confirming that I'm on the right path, or like a coded answer to a question I've been seeking, or something that I need to be aware of, or
Mhm.
something that's kind of a red flag, or just being like, hey, this is important, take note. So I definitely believe in spiritual signs. And but like I've experienced and mentioned, I have had a great life in terms of being in a busy urban environment and uh, learning in that. So yeah, I would say that's probably there's a lot of things that I resonate with from that movie, and it's funny too.
Oh,
It puts
yeah. It
a
is funny. It is
hilarious
funny.
take on it.
Matthew Perry is a great actor. Unfortunately, he passed away, but he was a
Yeah.
great actor. Um, well, that and for one, like that taught you a couple different lessons too. Because what Salma, she was very family oriented,
Mhm.
and Matthew Perry in the movie wasn't.
Mhm.
He was kind of like he was full focused on work and not
Yeah.
much else. Maybe a little bit of partying, but is mainly work. Which I don't know. Are you very family oriented? Like, are you all about your family? Which it would kind of compare in a sense if that's what your meaning is. You can understand both sides of it because obviously you're into learning a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
You're building a business, or you have a business, but building even more. Then you have a life where you're still very much so a part of your families.
Yeah.
Where
I would definitely say family is number one for me. I am living with my parents. I am supporting them. My schedule has been much more independent now, but also highly dependent on what my family plans are. And some people would think that's ridiculous that I'm turning 44 next month. I'm not trying to say that, and to say, hey, I'm still with it, but it's my family's been part of my life. They've given me the opportunities that I am now seizing. They've done a lot for me, and I'm in that place now where I really feel like not need to as an obligation, but as I like feel that it is my time now to support them in many ways that they have, especially with everything that we've gone through.
mm,
Um, this thing, the kind of the silent thing, and also that something that I'm helping with my conscious partners is that, uh, the stress in life, all the challenges. Uh, there's always challenges, but the stress has a really big physical impact on who we are. And my parents are both in the 70 age and age area, and
so they're around
they're
the age
they're
frame when
experiencing health. There's
they
health
need
issues,
some
and
help.
obviously a lot of that is from the stress, the chronic stress that we've experienced. So, helping navigate that, and helping others to maybe avoid that as well. How do you go through difficult times and not get affected by it? Not let
Yeah.
it affect you physically. Taking care of yourself.
Stress is unfortunately a big killer, and it
Yeah,
could kill motivation and destroy your health.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly. So there are ways to protect yourself from that, and that's something that I'm very kind of mindful of now, and I'm definitely helping them navigate those challenges as well.
right? Hmm. Sorry, there was just a minor glitch. Scared me for a second.
Yeah,
Gotta
I
make
saw my
sure.
video flash, but I have the connection's still good. So,
Yeah, we're still good. I thought
yeah,
it was messed up, but no, we're still good.
yeah,
It worried me for a second. um, but no, I mean, eh, it's fair enough. It's your turn to help take care of them and help keep them, so to speak, on their toes.
yeah,
Um, which respect for it. There's a lot of people still, uh, I guess, taking advantage of their families, their parents, their relatives, whatever it might be.
hmm
Um, so at least you're taking the time helping take care of them,
yeah,
and you're you're being the backbone they need right now, which is good. So I can
yeah,
respect it.
yeah. And I have been told to being like, okay, why are you always about your parents? Why don't you live your own life? And that's what's I guess also societal expectation of you and of people. You grow up and then you build your own life. And
Mhm.
for me, I feel like, again, from the spiritual perspective, that my family is very unique. We're not a typical family in many ways, and things that we've gone through, not many families would be able to navigate and survive. And uh, everybody has their own journey, and my journey, and this is actually one of the things that I've worked through also the last couple of years, is that yes, I am a lot about my family. They're very important to me. They're a lot depends on them, but at the same time, learning to become independent in my own person and doing my own things that's separate from the family business, separate from them. That's also been an interesting learning experiences doing both, and it's possible to do both. That's I don't. I can do my own things. I can step away. I can make my own plans when needed, and
Right, but
learning.
they're not holding you in one
No,
place. You're
no, yeah.
you're
This was
choosing to
something. This
be
was
there
for a
when they
while.
need
I
you.
felt like I felt that, and then this is what inner work is all about. Is when I realized that they're not limiting me. They're not constraining me. I'm the one who is in that perception of like, well, I have to check with my parents first if this is okay, or like take it before I can take a trip, or before I can do this. And then
Yeah.
that was what fun being like, hey, I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm doing this right now, and you know, and I've been impressed in that they're like, okay, yeah, that's
They're fully supportive.
exactly, yeah, yeah. So a lot of these, family is also big. People have different kinds of families. My parents gave me a wonderful, happy childhood, despite having a lot of difficulties of assimilating to American culture. Starting the business was not easy. What they were experiencing back in Russia was not easy. But they've protected me from those difficulties, and really did everything, went above and beyond to make sure that I got my education, that I had happy friendships. Yeah, we were moving all over the place, but in every place I would find my kind of niche, my friends, and had a happy home. And a lot of people don't have that, and I know friends that have abusive parents, and I have friends that like the Matthew Berry character in the movie, that the parents were just like, okay, as soon as you get your degree, you're out, and we don't care what you do with your life, and you're on your own. And every family experience is again a learning, something that we learn from, because yeah, it shapes us who we are as adults,
Mhm.
but it doesn't also have to constrain us or make us be like, because I have friends that's like, well, I've always been like this, and this is how I was raised, or like this is I've been abused as a child, so I'm always going to be damaged,
Mhm.
And no, this is where you really have to, as an adult, step out of that and say, it doesn't matter. Like, I get to, you can choose to change your life at any moment. You
Right.
can choose to be something that you were not before at any moment. It's up to you. Nobody can change you. Nobody can tell you how to be except for you. And
Yep.
if you decide that, hey, this has been limiting me up to till today, this has been challenging me, like this is you get in that victim mindset, being like, I am this because of X. And if you decide saying, well, I don't care about what with X, I'm going to be whoever I want to be right now,
Yeah.
and you set your mind to that, it is possible to make that change and take the next step forward. It's just most people are comfortable in that, you know, that capstone, like that uh walls that they build around them, saying like, this is me, this is who I am. I've
Yeah.
always been like this, and that you have to jump off. You have to kind of take the leap to explore something new. And a lot of people have that fear of exploring something that they're not used to, that they've never been part of, or that they don't know because they've always been in a different bubble.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, we all know people that kind of along that same route. They're like you. I have a cousin that he's he's very, so to speak, uh resilient in a sense. He is putting forth all the effort he can to um better himself and better his family going into it as well. then and he's got like 2 or 3 MBAs, and he's got like 4 bachelors. Then I have another cousin that's kind of his little brother that's following along the same route. He's got uh like 2 bachelors, like 1 or 2 MBAs, and they're doing something with it. They're doing something with themselves, and they're still very much so a part of their family's lives. So it's a choice. It's where and how you want to be. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's nothing
And
but respect for me.
yeah, yeah. The challenge is to recognize when you're putting yourself in that kind of victim mentality and
Mhm.
start saying, I can't because of this, or I am like this because of this. When you start the external circumstances that dictate what you can and can't do or who you can and can't be, uh, this is the program that a lot of people are, live their life in, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's, some people go through it and they're okay. They're happy as they
Yep,
are, and they don't want to change, and they don't need to change, and
yep.
that's okay as well. But there's other people that see that they want more and there is more. But for them to experience it, and I speak from my own experience, like as what I'm going through now, is where I said, okay, um, I want something more than what I've been experiencing lately, and nobody's limiting me except for myself. Not my
Mhm.
parents, not our situation, financial challenges and living challenges. That's all things that you figure out how to navigate that, and that's exactly what I'm doing with IPCH. Is I'm helping people navigate the challenges rather than be limited by them.
And the whole point of this is to help them get their experiences to help share with people. And who knows, even like some of the stuff you're dealing with, there might be another family dealing with the same thing. And they might be working on not only bettering themselves, but helping try to better what their family's going through at the same time as well.
Yeah,
So i- it's it's taking stories, learning the stories, sharing the experience, because never know who or what it may help.
exactly. And I'll actually give you a perfect example of that. And this was
Mhm.
also one of the, I guess you could say, signs that was showing me like what's possible. In that I mentioned I haven't been on social media much. I just started to get back out, and it's always something that takes kind of the back burner when more important things come up. But I am on most social media platforms, and once in a while, like I don't usually comment a whole lot. That's something else I've been doing more is commenting on other people's
Hey, you
posts.
reached out to me.
Exactly. Yeah. But I found one time I made a random comment on an X post, and on X I usually use more for some work related things, and then a little bit more now on the spiritual side since that's becoming part of my day to day work as well. And I randomly know how the feed sometimes puts random things up, and a post came up of somebody saying, "I'm having a very difficult time right now. I just need something uplifting, like some kind of message." And I was kind of incentivized to respond to that. Like this is the kind of things that I love doing is when somebody's facing a challenge, when they're hitting a wall, I can open them the door. I can show them, look beyond this, look beyond your
Mhm.
perspective. So I wrote something, I don't even remember exactly what, but it was something like, keep going. You're stronger than you believe yourself to be. There's a lot more in you, like something inspirational like that. And, and I just made a comment and I completely forgot about it 5 minutes later. And, I would say, like, I think it was 6 months later, I do run a couple of groups as well, or like just kind of in part of the chats and different platforms. And I had one person who found me on Telegram,
Okay.
and the Telegram group, and saying, "Oh, I saw your X comment, and I saw this at a time when I was about to give up, and it gave me inspiration to keep going." And this was 6 months later from a completely different person. Actually, this was somebody from, I think, like Southeast Asia. I don't even know where the original person was from, but somebody who just ran across my message that I posted months ago and completely forgot about, saying, they came across my name and they saw this, and I was just like, wow. Like, I don't have that many followers. I don't, I'm not on social media every day, and this made an impact on some completely random stranger that, I had no other way of reaching. So this is where kind of the signs really work. We are spiritually guided. We do have angels and guides that kind of navigate us to find certain individuals and certain
Yes.
things that keep us going, that really help us going. Like, we're having understanding that we're not victims, but we're always safe.
Mhm.
At soul level, we're always safe, and that helps kind of overcome that fear of, okay, this is hard, or this is challenging, or I can't keep going anymore. Something will always come up to say, yes, you can, and someone. And I love being there for those kind of people.
Yeah, you never know who the what you say or do can affect.
Yeah. And,
So
and,
don't
and how big of an
respond.
effect it can be. Something that you
Yeah,
may
it could be
think is
life
kind of
changing.
trifle. I've seen people say, like, you're walking on the street and you see somebody just smiling at them. You have no idea what kind of day they're having, and maybe that just means the world to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You never know what kind of effect it can have on people that you don't know, you do know, or someone you're getting to know.
Yeah.
Uh, If you show happiness, a lot of times it can help affect other people's moods.
Exactly. Like,
So,
again, it all starts from within. When we
yep,
focus more on ourselves and making ourselves happy, it reflects on others, and it attracts those people are guided to us in that sense. So
yeah.
yeah,
If you find happiness within, you can express the happiness to others.
exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Um, Let me see. When do you have like what's your dream job that you would love to have? Everyone has one that's a little out of reach, I believe, or some people will get to that. But do you have a dream job that you wish you could have gotten into or been into right now?
I would say what I'm doing now, what I'm creating now, is really the dream job. It's something that I've been thinking about and planning about and talking about for at least 2 years. As I've shared this dream with a few people and thought it was a great idea, but again, it was getting over that factor of, okay, stop talking about it and actually do it. Um,
That's how it was with the podcast.
yeah.
I was talking about doing it for so long. By the
Mhm,
way, the original name for this podcast was
mhm,
gonna be Lone Wolf. And then I was like, no, I don't like that. And
mhm,
it became Voice in the Void, which it got attention that I wanted. It got the good attention, and it it's helping connect to people like you, like my other guests that I have already had on, the people that signed up to be a guest later on. Like it's yeah, it and Voice in the Void, it means something
yeah.
because it means your voice matters.
Mhm,
Like just because you're not telling people doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
exactly.
Like the whole Voice in the Void is I hear you.
Mhm,
Like we hear you. You're not alone. There's
mhm,
other people in the world that is quiet. And I've talked about being doing something like this for a long time. Like I've talked about doing a podcast. I think it's about 8 years now. And I've last year I finally said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I did a little bit a few years back, but That was different. I was smoking all the time, getting high, and not doing much with my life. And the thing was to smoke with people, talk with them, and just more or less BS around. This, it's a little more serious. We can have a funny little haha, but we can have real conversation. And it's truly getting to know you, getting to know what you've been through, know what you're going through, express your word. And yeah, who knows? We could become, well, I guess kind of business partners in the end if I reach out to you for the consultant aspect. So who knows? Like it's connections. It's
Sure.
building connections with people,
Hmm.
and I get to pick who I talk to, who I want to talk to. And by the way, I'll talk to anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be one of homeless people around the corner. I'll go talk to you. I'm supposed to go talk with one here next week, I think it is now, anyways, because
Hmm.
I've already talked to him about potentially being on. And it's getting to know the stories, the struggles, the fun along the way.
Yeah.
I'm finally doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And can't say it's easy because it's not. Like, just one building a conversation can be difficult. You got to go in with the right attitude, which I think I go in with a decent enough attitude. I don't come in here expecting anything crazy. I don't I don't go into conversations expecting my word is what matters. No, because the whole point of it is to hear you,
Yeah.
and I get to do that. But it's hard in the sense that it's time consuming. It really is. And if you let it consume enough of it, then you're never going to have time for anything else.
Right.
So I've I had to learn that because at first I was going a little overboard,
Hmm.
but then my wife's like, Brandon, slow down a little bit. You're gonna do too much and you're gonna burn yourself out. It's like, you're right. I've burnt myself out a lot of different things, and this is one of them I don't want to do that with.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy talking. I
Right.
enjoy having this conversation.
Hmm.
You seem like a very friendly person. You seem like someone I could just BS with, and there will be no hard feelings.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get that nowadays. Same
Yeah.
with the other guy I recorded. It's the same thing.
Hmm.
Easy to talk to, but it's hard to find that where you're not getting upset with what I'm saying. We can have a proper conversation without attitudes being thrown out there.
Yeah.
So,
I think
yeah.
what some of the challenging uh beliefs or things that really limit people, or I would say humanity on a whole, is uh expectations and judging others.
Yeah.
And the expectations is really um kind of one of the aspects that is really important, is to just enjoy the moment, enjoy the present, enjoy what you have.
Yeah.
Again, focusing on the gratitude, like the positive things in your life rather than the challenges. When we expect something to change or to be different, or a podcast, you're going in, you're expecting like a certain kind of interview or something. If it doesn't match that, then you get triggered. Then you're like, well, yeah,
Mhm.
this, you get upset, so you start reacting to things. So one of the things that I've learned, and I definitely learned this because I used to be a very, at least when it comes to timing and schedule, I used to be a very kind of almost like military style. Like, this is what I'm doing. I have to get this done today. If it doesn't, I'm not. And I've let go because my life has, you know, been thrown out and shuffled and shredded in so many different ways that I kind of let go, saying, you know what, expectations of something that hasn't happened yet. And
Yeah.
you get upset. Why you get upset when something that it doesn't work out the way you expected? it actually may sound better. A lot of times when we put out those what if sentences, we're always thinking of what if something goes wrong, what if something doesn't work out, but the chances are 50-50 until it's actually happened. And very
Yeah.
few times we go with, okay, what if this is better than we expect? What if this is, um,
Well,
this is much bigger and better than what we're looking for?
there's a thing where a lot of people don't think too hard on it, but there could be something you've been expecting to happen that has already happened that you just didn't acknowledge it happened.
Yeah, that too.
And
Exactly.
it's just like,
Or in a
um,
different way. It happened, but not in the way that you were like looking
exactly,
for
it
it.
came
Yeah.
to you different.
Yeah.
It's just like I tell people, like, if you're in a relationship, you say it's a very rough relationship, it's not working out the way you want it. Maybe you guys are right for each other, just not in the right time for each other.
Hmm.
And I'm sure it can get confusing in a sense, but it just means you guys met each other at the wrong time. You were together at the wrong time.
Hmm.
If you guys would have met each other a year later, 10 years later, could be a completely different story. Or this is just the beginning to a story that you guys can laugh about in 20 years when you guys are finally married, chilling on a beach somewhere. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it happens. Businesses, you can start up one right now. You can go through all this craziness, and then in the end, you're finally able to sit back and relax, and like it's finally how you expected it.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, it seems like it's been a rough patch for you
Or
guys for a
hopefully better than
long.
expected. Yeah.
So hopefully, it gets a lot better for you guys.
Yeah. It,
Um,
it is
yeah,
if this is how I want it, if this is, and it's not just about wanting, it's also taking action. And
mhm,
you can do visualization. There's spiritual teachers that teach you how to manifest and get all the positive things about it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's very important. Our
yeah,
thoughts do create our reality, so it is important to visualize our dream job or our dream where we want to be. But
yeah,
you can't just visualize. You actually have to work at it. And you have to say, okay, this is what I want, and now I'm just going to take it. I don't. I'm not going to worry about what I have to do tomorrow. I'm going to worry about what I can do today to work towards that goal.
yeah,
And as long as you do that, then you move towards that direction.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You gotta just gotta pay attention. Open your eyes.
Yeah.
If you're not seeing clearly, then you're gonna miss something.
Exactly.
You're gonna move wrong.
Yeah.
Um, and I've been trying to explain in a way too. There's a difference between expectations and unrealistic expectations.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, a lot of people they get them confused. Where you can have the highest expectation for yourself,
Yeah.
but you gotta make sure it's something you know for a fact you can do, or you get to that point and where you have that higher expectation, chase that one, but you learn how to do it the way it should be done. Because say I'm gonna be president, right? Which it's in my sense is gonna be a little unrealistic by any means. I'm not. I don't want to do that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Wanting is something important. You have to want to to be that.
yeah, yeah. Like you have the expectations of yourself, but then there's the higher expectations that other people may have for you
Mm.
or you have for other people.
Yeah.
And it can ruin your life if you go at them the way you're expecting.
Yeah.
Like you gotta change up your step. Sometimes you gotta instead of following the yellow brick road, go down the red path.
Yeah.
Like you might find what you really been looking for is just on a different way.
Yeah.
But
And there's also on that line is again tapping into more of the spirituality aspect is uh a lot of times we operate in expectations come from our ego self, where we want something just because we want it, or just because it's something that's we think is good for us. But you have to also look at it from the bigger perspective: is do you really need that? Like you're saying, like, okay, you want to be president. It's probably unrealistic unless you want it, but you admit, like, do I want to be president? Do I need it to be president? Like, what does it do for my purpose, for my life's purpose? Like, how is it going to improve my life, doing that? And that's the important part too, is a lot of times we build expectations of where we want to be, and then life says, that's not your life's purpose. That's not where you're going. You're going to be going this direction, and this actually, once you get there, you're like, oh, this is actually a lot better
Yeah.
than what I was looking for. So this is the other thing, is when we get so focused on something, like we do end up limiting ourselves, and we could be missing other opportunities that maybe are not what we had in our plans, but
Yeah.
maybe even are better.
Well, that's one of the reasons I like Tony Robbins.
Hmm.
He's he can help clarify a lot of that.
Yeah.
Um, he can help. He's a what I call he's a guider,
Yeah.
because there's I don't know if you've ever seen or been to any of his openings, his shows, so to speak.
I've seen online. Yeah. Yeah.
But he's someone. It could be all a facade.
Hmm.
Who knows? I'm not to speak for him, but he seems like he's someone that really wants to help everybody,
Right.
and you don't. A lot of times, you don't get people in that position that want to help people unless
Hmm.
it's a beneficiary to them.
Right.
And but with him, it doesn't necessarily seem like it's benefiting him other than people paying the tickets to go in and see him.
Well, yeah, the financial benefit is definitely there, but
Yeah,
uh,
but he seems like someone that is truly trying to help people though,
yeah.
which is different. Like if you get what say Donald Trump when he had his show, uh when he was always firing everybody, that
Mhm.
was a facade. He wasn't really there to help people or nothing like that, like they said at one time, but it was a show. That's the whole point of it. They
Mhm.
call it reality, but it's not reality. Reality, if it's like you, I go to you for business, some type of inquiry about business, and you can help me understand it better. Where that it was kind of a ha moment. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like there's differences. You got to know the differences and understand what is and what isn't.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of also Matthew McConaughey, because I think he is
yes,
great fan of Tony Robbins, and they've done a lot of that motivation. And this is actually mentioned in our pre chat that uh I've noticed, there's a huge industry now that of that motivation, and it is meant to help people think positively and change our perspective. And it's not it sounds all really great, and it's really well intended, but you need to learn how to apply that to yourself, and you have to take the action, not just say, oh, this is nice and this is great, and then
yeah,
move on, but you actually have to start living that. You have to start thinking that way, and you have to start applying it, which is why I realized that there really is a gap in the business aspect as a business leader. And I did this myself when I was uh seeing that, okay, my spiritual aspect, my meditation, my mindfulness and peace of mind and happiness, that's all my hobby that I do in my spare time. But it's really not. It's, again, like I said, I had it all backwards. This has to be the core foundation to on which you build your life, your business, anything that you do. Obviously, you need the knowledge and the experience for the rest of it, but all of that goes out the window when you have something like the COVID or war breaks out in the Middle East and places that have never been bombed before. And, you have to, these are the moments where all of the knowledge doesn't really help you because you can't, I talk about the insurance risk. When you insure something, when you get insurance, you have to know what risk you're covering. You can't
Yeah.
insure something that you don't know, that's
Yep.
unknown and unexpected. That's the insurance is really the mindfulness expectation, or the mindfulness positive attitude.
Yeah.
Now, there are people that are kind of against this movement in that they say, well, this is all toxic positivity. You're starting to hear more in that, like, oh, this is toxic positivity. You can't be happy all the time. You're just masking yourself and your true pain. And a lot of people really do that. Really, they are
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm so happy. I'm like, I can teach you how to be happy and all that. Um, the difference, there's a huge difference between that aspect and saying, you have to acknowledge the challenges. You have to acknowledge the pain. There are times that it's okay to cry and, get yourself out there and have that kind of feeling low and being like, you know what, right now I'm experiencing this, and let me just like allow yourself to go through that.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, well, this is part of my human experience. Now, what can I learn from it? What is it teaching me? What is it? Why am I experiencing this? I'm
Yep.
experiencing this so that I can learn to navigate, learn to rise above this, and help others do the same.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of times doesn't get really translated in these kind of the happy motivation aspects is, um, that people aren't just saying these things. They've experienced it. And I'm in a spiritual group where that's actually tied to a lot of the kind of the spiritual aspects that are unfolding right now in the world. And a lot of people go in there and they don't know about my experience. They don't know about my past. And they come in and they say, how can you be so positive? Well, I'm struggling to put food on my table. I'm struggling to keep a roof over my head. I'm doing this. I can't be positive right now because I have to figure out how to feed my family. Like, what
Yeah.
are you talking about? And they get shocked when I say, do you know that I've experienced everything that you're just saying right now? And it's the only way to navigate that is to be positive, is to find a way that, this is not how I want to be. This is not where
Yeah.
I want to be. And this is what I need to do to change that.
Yeah. Um, yeah. See, I like how your mind works because you're actually saying a lot of the stuff that not only people need to hear,
Mhm.
but that it's a lot of factual. So yeah, uh, I don't know what else to say. Like it really like you're a knowledgeable person,
Mhm.
so to seem at least. Um, and you could definitely people could learn from you,
Mhm.
but that's what is needed in a sense. Is you need people to help share information
Mhm.
because not everyone learns it the same way.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
there's people that can solely learn from books, from just listening. Me, I'm a hands-on person, right? So for me to learn how to do certain things, I learn from conversation, I learn from doing.
Mhm.
So a lot of what I've done in my own life has been I've had to learn it myself. Like you can explain to me 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Say it's like you ever seen this how to make a sandwich tutorial thing?
Yeah.
Like, okay, explain to me how to do this. You put the butter knife in the peanut butter, then you put it on the bread.
Yeah.
Say if I didn't know any better, I would put the whole thing of peanut butter on the bread and that'd be it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's how you instruct.
Right.
You learn how to do these things either by visual, verbal, or just hands on. There's
Exactly.
literally 3 steps.
Yeah.
And a majority of what I've done, I've had to do it myself. I can watch you do it a million times, but if
Right.
I don't do it myself, I'm never gonna actually understand how to do it.
Yeah. And a lot of times
So,
I've been in situations where I didn't know how to do it, and it was something that was important enough, or like I didn't have time to learn or take any tutorial, and I just had to figure it out on the fly. And this is actually really interesting
hence
too, because
anytime I work on a car nowadays, because everything's different.
oh yeah, and those get more complicated now.
Oh, way more complicated than
But
it used to be.
yeah, but this actually is good training to tap into your intuitive sense, because a
Mhm,
lot of times you figure things out and say, okay, well, I have no idea how to do this, but let me try this. And then it works, and maybe it doesn't work the first time, or maybe there's a
mhm.
trial and error period. And then later I find the instruction book and be like, oh, I was actually figuring it out on my own. Like I was actually doing it,
I was
pretty
pretty
well.
close to doing it.
Yeah, yeah, and so a lot of times, yeah, there's no, like, with life, there's no instruction book for life. There's,
Yes.
you can say there's the Bible, there, you can say there's all these different guidances, but,
Mhm,
they don't again, MBA, I love the business schools I went to. I'm really appreciative with, everything I've learned, and, people I've met through it, and, they're really great, expensive, but great, degrees to have, and they've given me a lot of opportunities. But they don't teach you how to go go through life and navigate life, that the kinds of things that I've been through. And so really learning to trust your instincts and trust yourself, and as you go along. And again, it goes back to how I work with my conscious partners, is I can recommend them certain things. I can say, this is how I see things going, or like, this is what you could try to do. But they have to do it themselves.
yeah,
They have to want to do it themselves.
right, right. Yeah, no, that's very true, and, um, there have you ever heard of the truth of consciousness?
Yes. Hmm. Yeah.
So, where you, um I'm trying to think of the right way to say it, but more or less, if you are explaining or you're building your own confidence,
Hmm.
you're talking to yourself about it. You're
Yeah.
putting it on yourself.
Hmm.
But and I've had to explain this to my daughter because she's at that age where what people say matters to her.
Hmm.
And it's like, look, Livy, the age you're at, you're all about your friends. I understand.
Hmm.
For your confidence to stay up like it has been up until this point, don't listen to people when they're saying certain things about you. Say anything you want to believe to yourself, but keep saying it, believe it yourself. It's like training your consciousness. Because if you talk negative to yourself,
Oh
because
yes.
it doesn't matter what everyone else says, but in the end, if you're saying it to yourself, like, "Oh, am I really this? Am
Hmm.
I really whatever it might be?" Or you're a lazy PLS, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
If you're saying it to yourself, eventually your consciousness believes you.
Absolutely. It's
Your
a
conscious
100% true. Yeah.
it'll change your whole mindset.
Yeah.
You're
That's one of the most important aspects that I try to, express, both in the spiritual and casual way, and now implementing in the business, is
Mhm.
every thought we allow, like, we choose what to focus on. We choose
Yeah,
what thoughts to think. It may seem like it's not, you do have those people saying, well, I have this disorder, or like I have this, and, you know, we really can choose what to focus on, and what to think, and what to, uh, tell ourselves. And, the more negative, like every, I, how I say it is, like, every thought creates our reality. Every
mhm,
word expressed on paper or in voice kind of anchors that.
yeah,
And so if we narrow ourselves or limit ourselves by saying those negative things, yeah, our consciousness, that's how we're programming ourselves to be. If we, and a lot of people say, oh, yeah, no, but our reality is different. This is how you start. kind of saying, you have a dream job where this is where you want to be, not where you are
Right.
today, but where you want to be. You have to envision it and start feeling like go to that space and say, okay, what does it feel like? What would this do for me? Like if I had this, like what would I be able to do? And then say, okay, now from my where I am right now, this is the steps that I can do to get there. These are the steps that I can focus on. And the other important aspect is also, especially when you're trying to work with other people or express it to other people, is everyone has a completely different level of awareness. Like your
Yeah.
daughter's seeing things from her childhood perspective. You're seeing it from an adult parent perspective. You're talking to somebody who maybe is an atheist or like doesn't believe in anything, higher power. You can't
Well,
explain spirituality and God to them because
right. I
yeah,
gotta just to remember, I was a kid before. I was the same way. My parents telling me something, I didn't believe a word they said
yeah,
majority of the time.
yeah,
I had to learn it, and I understand she's probably not. It's not gonna click for her
yeah,
unless someone else is starting to tell her the same thing. But and I've tried to explain to her, it's like, look, you see all these people in Hollywood, you see how their confidence is. Sure, a lot of it might be fake. A lot of
mm,
it's for the videos, for pictures, whatever it might be. Their confidence is up there. It's boosted.
yeah,
But they've talked themselves into this. You
hmm,
build your confidence by building your consciousness.
exactly,
If your consciousness doesn't believe what you're saying, it'll show. And it'll show
exactly,
on your face.
yeah,
That's
e-
where expressions come from.
right,
It's from a form of consciousness coming out through your face.
yeah,
Like you're
exactly,
happy, it's gonna show. You're mad, it's gonna show. Sad. It's same thing with feeling. Like
hmm,
you know how people say, the vibe in the room is off.
yeah,
It's more or less, as they say, aura, the consciousness
right.
speaking aloud.
We all have an energetic field, and we feed that with our thoughts. When
Yes.
when you talk about diet, and diet is feeding the physical vessel, what you are, what you eat. That
Yep.
phrase. It's the same thing as you are what you think.
Mhm.
Feeding our mind with what we watch, what we expose ourselves to.
Yep.
And if have you ever heard the Japanese scientist that showed how to program water? That So this is something I don't remember the name, but you can look at like water vibrations. It's on YouTube. I continue to link after. Uh, there's actually been studies that because water is fluid, it's very hard. It's one of the interesting elements because it takes different forms. It can be solid if it's frozen. It can be gas if it's evaporated. If it's solid, and there's no really way to control it unless you use a
Mhm.
different elements. But one thing that has been shown is if you put water next to like classical music or something like really positive, you'll actually see the water
Yeah, the
pick up
vibrations in the
vibrations.
water is different.
Yeah, if you put like some kind of like heavy metal or like really low vibe, or like you put it next to like somebody who's having a heated argument, you'll notice actually at the crystalline, because it's crystalline. If you look under the microscope, and that's what the experiment showed, under the microscope, you'll see the crystalline structure go from beautiful like snowflake if it's high vibe to something that's like dark and like really gooey into and under low vibration. And if you think about it, even at the most physical level, our bodies are 70% water. So
Yeah,
if that's how you program water, this is how you're programming your body. This is why people who are always stressed and negative
that's cool.
like develop disease and all of that too, because we really program our conscious, our mind with it. And I actually know at a very extreme level, and this is not, if everybody could do this, then there wouldn't be any need for medicine. But I know people who have healed themselves from cancer just by completely changing their lifestyle, like uprooting everything that they've known, going in isolation and doing mind control work, like auto training, reducing tumors and things like that. Like I actually know people who have experienced this, and then they go back and they get the tested, and they're like, "You didn't have any operations,
Yeah.
but your tumor's gone. Like, how is that possible?" So
Hmm.
it's possible. It takes the belief. The most important is the belief, really, the attitude, the want and the need for that. And of course, part of our life's experience is if the universe decides that this is what you need to go through and learn how to do, then you do that. If not, then
Yeah.
you have to go through the pain and all the struggles that people go through. But really, that's beautiful that you're teaching your daughter that, because this is the elements that they don't teach in business school. These are the things that
Yeah.
I want to work with business owners and managers, saying, you know, you have a great business plan. You have like great, everything is going, and you keep running into the same issue. And maybe that's because you haven't figured out how to look at it from a different perspective. Maybe
Yeah.
you're programming yourself to experience that issue. And
Right.
yeah, it's all at the subconscious level.
Yeah. I'm just trying to, not only her, but my middle child as well, trying to teach him the same thing. But his confidence is up there. He's got very high confidence. He believes in himself about everything it is,
Yeah.
which is good. That's what you need. So I'm trying to express it to her as well, where you're like, we all have a lifeline.
Yeah.
If you talk to yourself enough and you're changing, if your tone is changing, because it's about tonage.
Hmm.
So, well, not only tonage, but what you say, how you say it, so on and so forth. So, if your lifestyle is going one way and you decide, hey, I'm gonna talk negative, you're changing the route of your lifeline.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally change your life by saying things or listening to certain things that have nothing to personally do with you.
Hmm.
But if you're trying to live your life based off a story, off of someone else's life, whatever it might be, you're gonna ruin your own.
Yeah.
In a
Exactly.
sense. In a sense.
Yeah.
But it's about building the happiness. And I, for the most part, I think I'm gotten through to her, but it's another story right now. We're
Yeah.
waiting to see if she actually, if you can connect to it.
Yeah. You have to
So
let
to
her
speak.
learn as well
Yeah.
in her way too. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I get that 100%.
Yep.
Um, so do you have, I know you shouted out your consulting,
Mhm.
but do you have anything you want to shout out, your YouTube, your Instagram, X,
Yeah.
your business, whatever it might be, anything. Your
Sure.
parents' business, it don't matter.
Yeah, well, I'm on personal accounts. I'm on X. I just recently restarted my Instagram. I actually went off of. I tried to avoid the social media for a while, but my pretty much across all platforms, I'm Smile XSR17, and smile is really one of my mottos. Is you gotta put a smile to it. It makes you feel better, makes others feel better.
Mhm.
So my personal handle is SmileXSR17, and my all my business handles are IPCHINTL. So that's also
Okay.
Facebook, YouTube, and which doesn't have much now, but hoping to add more podcasts like this on there, and hopefully starting my own podcast soon, and also on Instagram as well. So
Okay.
I'm in the process of becoming more active on there, and I also on LinkedIn, just under my name, Xenia Razinski, and on Substack too as well. So I'll be writing more information on Substack. I think that's another cool place to be now as
Okay.
well.
I haven't heard about that one, so I have to check that one out too.
Yeah.
Um,
It's kind of like people who are tired of LinkedIn are going to Substack now. So
Gotcha. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Um, Thank you again for joining me. It was a great conversation. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah. Thanks for this
Um,
opportunity. It was a really great chat.
yeah. Well, hopefully I can have you back on at some point. Um,
Absolutely.
Thank you again for joining me. Thank you everybody for watching. Peace.
Mhm. Right. Thank you.